Welcome to Agency MVP Live. My name is Samantha. I'm a success coach here at MVP, and I will be teaching today's webinar. So if you guys have joined us already once this month, so last Thursday was the first MVP Live of July. So as you know, going forward, we are doing one topic per month, and then, or like a theme for the entire month, and then each week we'll have like a different topic that relates to that theme, okay? So raise your hand if you were here last week. Who was here last week? Perfect. All right, looks like we had quite a bit of you guys here last week. So last week we talked about API workflows, and those are the workflows that will automatically apply to any integrated leads. Raise your hand if you have created those or started using those since last week's webinar. Perfect. All right, I'm glad to hear. Let's go ahead and get started with today. So let's look at the first page we looked at last week as well. Just kind of start here, do a quick little refresher for everybody. So we've got 3 different types of workflows here in Agency MVP. We have an API workflow, custom workflow, and an X-Day workflow. Workflows are for you to streamline communication, okay? So that's what we use them for. Let's go ahead and move on to custom workflows. All right, so as you know, a custom workflow is a workflow that will be manually assigned to a household, okay? So custom workflows are not automatically assigned. You must manually assign them to a household. The good news is they can be applied to any household with an MVP. It doesn't matter where they're at in the sales process. Are they just a regular lead? Are they a hot lead? Are they awaiting? Are they quoted? Are they a customer already? You can apply a custom workflow to any household at any point in the sales process. Okay, so with that said, we are going to create tons of different custom workflows. You can create them for like new leads. I know a lot of agents are getting leads sent to them from their district manager. Something, raise your hand if you're getting leads from your district manager right now. It seems to become a little more popular recently. A lot of like newer agents are definitely getting some, right? Raise your hand if you are buying leads, but they are not integrated into MVP. That happens too, right? Maybe you're getting lists from Collectstates and you're cold calling or anything like that, right? You're getting Facebook leads. Those ones should integrate through Zapier though. But you are going to create custom workflows for those types of leads. You're going to create them for like customer onboarding or life insurance, cross-selling, things like that. Any staff member in your agency can create and use custom workflows. Just because you created a custom workflow does not mean that another staff member in the office cannot use it, okay? So all of the custom workflows that are created in the agency are visible by anyone else. Okay, so let's go talk about the basics of creating them. All right, so when you click your name on the top right and you go to workflows, it takes you to your workflows page. This is where we are going to find or create them. Okay, so we're going to create them here or see our older ones here. Let's go ahead and click Create Custom Workflow. All right, so this is one that we're going to name it. You can do whatever you want here. I know some people that are creating one just for new leads and they're creating it very similar to those of how you'd be working internet leads, okay? I'm going to create one today just for an example. We're going to create a customer onboarding workflow, okay? So this will be a workflow that we would apply to a customer once we've marked them as sold. We're going to check the boxes to the left of the person's names that we want to receive notifications if someone were to reply to these text messages on this workflow. Okay, so sometimes some agencies like to create a workflow specific for each staff member. So maybe this one's only going to be Samantha. So we'll say Samantha's customer onboarding workflow. And then this could have just my name and my information on it. Or if we're just going to use one for the entire agency, all of the agency will use this one workflow, then we'll just kind of, we can say this is ABC Insurance Agency and not just say this is Samantha, right? It's up to you on how you want to do it. Personally, I think it's just easier to create one for the entire agency. So that's what I would do, but it's up to you, okay? So got our names checked here. This is our opt-out messaging. This is telling MVP to include the option for these people to opt out. So it will include that stop message, a reply stop to stop receiving messages from this agency, okay? All right, down below here, we have our workflow actions. We can click add SMS action or add email. Okay, so workflow action is going to be a text message or an email. These are what are going to be sent. Okay, so these little arrows, green arrows, move them up, yellow arrow, move it down, little red X will delete them. But you can add as many actions as you would like to in all of these workflows. Who remembers what I recommend? What number of actions do I recommend at the minimum for workflows? Use the Q&A box and let me know. What is the minimum number of actions I recommend to use on a workflow? All right, the minimum that I recommend is 3. I'm so glad all of you guys remembered. I would say 3. If we're going to do a one-off message, there's a better way to do that than creating workflows. So I always recommend that each workflow have at least 3 actions. I mean, I guess it really depends on what they are. So maybe you might have 2, but I would say 3 at least. The reason why is because we are creating each action. So I have action 1, right? So action 1 will go out on, and let's say it goes out immediately, and then action 2 will happen after that, right? But what if they don't respond to action 1 or action 2? What are we going to do? Don't we want to think, okay, so if they don't respond to action 1, I want action 2 to say this. And if they don't respond to action 1 or 2, and then I want action 3 to go out and I want action 3 to say this. Right? Does that make sense? Raise your hand if that makes sense. Each action you are creating with the thought in mind that they did not respond to any of the previous actions, whether that be the texts and emails from the workflow or any manual phone calls that you are attempting to make, okay? All right, so here's our customer onboarding one. I'm gonna have an email on here first. So I am just copying and pasting from a document that I have in the Facebook groups in the files section, okay? We're not gonna talk about wording so much today. We'll be doing a lot of that the last Thursday of the month, but for this workflow, I just do a simple welcome to ABC Insurance Agency subject line. You can also put like first name and then do a comma. Something that is good to remember is the open rate for emails is higher when you have the first name and the subject line, okay? Something that we have noticed based on all of the workflows that are being used in MVP, okay? So who are they going to reply to? If this is an onboarding one, normally I will put, like for this message, what it says, I would put the main office phone number and then the agent's email. So this email, sorry, I'm trying to copy the document. Okay, so I'm going to paste this here. I'm actually going to clean it up here. So just so you guys know, if you're copying and pasting from the PDF documents that we shared, you need to clean them up. They look a little weird. Okay, so I space them out. What do I do with the parentheses? Do I just leave the parentheses there? Or the curly brackets, do I leave those there? What do I do? Do y'all know what to do? Who remembers? All right, we leave the curly brackets, but we remove the others. Okay, so this one right here, I need to add an underscore. Now it's correct, but the parentheses need to be removed. I'm going to leave Samantha in there just because we're going to use that. But if you see parentheses, please make sure you remove them and the information that's in between them and replace it with your information, your name, your agency name, phone number, all of that. Okay. Curly brackets are pre-fill variables. They will pre-fill with their names. And then at the end of each line, see how they're kind of broken up? I will just click delete on my keyboard. You can do backspace if you need to, if you prefer that. But we are going to kind of clean it up so it looks a little bit better. Okay. So I'll erase our parentheses. Let's see here. Okay. So this email, we'll read through it here in a minute. Like, here's a phone number. I'm going to put main agency phone number right there. Okay. Because I wanted to enter in a phone number there. So I've got our agency phone number. And then I'm just going to finish cleaning these up. I'm just going to the end of each line and just bringing them all together. Okay. And then at the end, I'm going to add in my signature as well. So this message, I'll read it just so you guys can see it and kind of hear what it says. It just says, hi, first name, it's Samantha, the owner of ABC Insurance Agency. I wanted to reach out to personally thank you for your business. Here at ABC Insurance Agency, we consider the opportunity to protect you, your family, and your assets one of our most important responsibilities. As you may know, ABC Insurance is known for its exceptional claims service. However, as your agent, I would prefer to be the first to know, and my team will make every effort to ensure your claim is filed properly with swift resolution from our claims team. With that said, please save our text-friendly office number as one of your important contacts. And there's a phone number. We appreciate your business and would love the opportunity to help your friends and family protect what is most important to them as well. After all, a referral is the best compliment that we can receive. Feel free to send them our way or give us their contact information and we will reach out to them. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. And then signature. This email will be found on the Agency MVP Workflow Templates document that is in our Facebook groups. You are welcome to use this if you would like, make some changes. I know some agencies, they don't like to be the ones to file the claims, and that's okay. And in the office that I worked in, we did that, but not every office does that, okay? So you can change them, use these as a guideline on what you would like them to say. You don't have to use them word for word. All right, deliver in after adding workflow to household. I would do this, well, we can do it either one day after, or we can do it a couple hours later, whatever you would like. I'm going to do one day because we're probably getting a lot of other emails right away to set up other stuff, right? So when you're creating this one, think about any other emails that they're going to be getting as well. All right, here's action 2, a text message. All right, let's get this next one in here. This is a text message, so I just am copying and pasting from that document. Again, I'm removing the parentheses and replacing the information. If you don't want it to say Samantha at ABC Insurance, you need to change it, okay? So what you could do is you can say agency name. Oh, let's erase that. Agency name. Oh, let's do user first name at agency name. You can do that too. Okay. So, hey first name, it's user first name at agency name. So it would say, hey first name, it's Samantha at ABC Insurance. Just wanted to reach out to make sure that you have your proof of insurance and have downloaded our app. Let me know if you have any questions. So you can do that one. This one can go out, maybe we can do one day after the email, or we can do a couple hours after the email. So that email is going to happen tomorrow. So maybe we can have this text go out about 2 to 3 hours later. Okay. And then we've got another one. We can do a text message again next. We'll paste that in there. All right, this one says, hi, first name. I just wanted to reach out to see if you could leave us a quick review of your experience with our team. Insert your Google URL here. Those are in parentheses. You need to erase this and put your Google review URL here. Okay, it's not going to go in there automatically. You're going to go find your review link, put it here for people to leave you reviews. Okay, if you need help with that, let me know and I can help you out. I think I'm going to make a tutorial for it for you guys as well. All right, deliver after action 2. So I want this to go out 2 days after action 2. Or you can do it 1 day, whatever you want here. But this is going to happen. So we've got action 1 is going to happen 1 day after assigning this workflow to a household. I'm going to assign this customer onboarding workflow to a household right as I'm marking them as sold in MVP. So this will be sent out the day after I've taken payment and marked the policy as sold. Okay. And then this is going to go 3 hours after that email has gone out. So this is on day 2. It's the day after. So I marked it as sold today. And then tomorrow they're getting the email and this text message. Then 2 days later, they're going to get another text to leave you guys a Google review. Okay. How do you find your Google review? You will need to access your Google business. I like to tell everyone just to go to google.com and then type in Google My Business, and then you can log in there. Okay. I'll make a tutorial for it so you guys can have it, and I'll post it in the Facebook groups. Okay. All right. So we've got that text message leaving them a review, and then maybe we want to schedule. How many of you guys do a policy review before their next renewal, or do you do it at the year mark? So if you're a farmer's agent, you probably call those a FFR, right? If you, I don't know what other agents call them. Raise your hand if you do not like to do policy reviews. All right, just a couple don't like to. I think it's, if we don't like to do them, it's different than not doing them. How about that? They're hard. It depends on the approach you take at them, but I think they're important for us to reach out, okay? All right, let's see here. I'm gonna copy and paste this next one in here. The subject line says your upcoming renewal, and then who they're going to reply to. So these ones, I think it's kind of cool when they come from like the agency owner. But if you, the sales team is the ones that do all this stuff, then I would have theirs here. Okay. All right. So this is a, let's see here. We're going to clean this up. Some of you have probably seen me teach you this before. So let's erase the parentheses. Let's go ahead and put the name, agency name, phone number for the signature, okay? All right, so it says, hi, first name. I hope this email finds you and your family well. It is almost time for your first policy renewal. As your insurance agent, it is my responsibility to fully protect you, your family, and your assets. As life changes, so do your insurance needs. With that said, I always like to schedule a policy review prior to your renewal to ensure that you are fully protected. What day next week would work best for a quick 30-minute review via Zoom or phone? I look forward to speaking with you soon, and there's a signature. Some agents are putting a Calendly link in here and asking them to schedule if they're interested in doing it. So it's up to you on how you want to word these and what you want them to say. This is kind of something that I would say worked pretty well. Not everyone's scheduled FFRs with me or policy reviews, and that's okay. Just giving them the option, letting them know you care at that first renewal at least. Okay. So how do you add a calendar in here? You would add a Calendly link. So Calendly is a separate program that you can get that you can connect to your calendar. That's not through MVP at this time. Okay. All right. So when do we want this one to go out? What would you do? When would I want to deliver this after action 3? Any ideas? Okay, a month before renewal, but I can't pick that here, right? So I would want to either put it out. So here's my thoughts. People have said 11 months and some people said 5 months. I personally would send these out about 4 months. And the reason why, either I would do 4 months or I would do 10 months. Okay, if you want to do at the 6 month or the 12-month mark, whatever you prefer. But the reason why I would do this is because they're going to get their renewal notices via email or mail at the 30-day mark, right? So that's at the 5-month mark. I want to get a hold of them beforehand. So that's why I would do either 4 months or 10 months for this one. Raise your hand if that makes sense. Make sense? Okay. So that's why I would do it this way. So this would be 4 months and 4 days, because we've got 1 day here. You got 3 days here, plus that 1 day when we added it, right? So there's 4 days. We marked it as sold 4 days. So it happened 4 months and 4 days later is when they're going to get this. Okay. All right. So if I click on Save Workflow, I will have that workflow here, customer onboarding workflow. I can edit this, I can clone it, and I can delete my workflows. Okay, you're going to click the clone button if you want to create it for a different way. If you are creating these individually for each staff member's names, have what you want to create and then just go in there and clone it and then put their name here, take away the copy of course, check their name, and then come in here and change the emails and check the names and all of them. But that way you don't have to rewrite everything over and over again. Okay. Maybe you are skipping the renewal, the policy review, and you are going to talk about cross-sell opportunities. Or another one that you can do is an email, move it up right before the renewal. And we can do, let's do first name. Did you want mortgage, if I could type today, do you want mortgage protection? That's a pretty good subject line, okay? And then in this email is going to be an email about life insurance. That's what you can do. And then I would put this like maybe about a month out, and then change this one to 3 months first, right? So a month after you close their policies, you're going to have an email going out about life insurance. So you can use the line of, did you want mortgage protection? I think that's a pretty good one to catch people's attention. So this would say customer onboarding workflow with life, right? So I have a couple, if I click save or update workflow, I will have customer onboarding workflow with life. Okay. So you have those options. You can also add some in for other cross-sell opportunities as well. We will be talking more about those next week. Okay. Any questions about creating custom workflows so far? Quite a few questions that have come in. I'm going to answer those really quickly. Oh, and my webinars for MVP Live, I only do a Q&A box. I don't do like a chat, just so I can keep track of all the questions. So you guys will only use the Q&A box, and that's how you will ask your questions, okay? Clint asked, when setting up workflows for customers as you're doing, is that going to be after the household is marked as sold? Yes. I will be assigning these to households as I'm marking them as sold. So let's go look at that. Let's go to a quoted prospect here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mark as sold. I'm going to click mark as sold. There we go. I am then going to find my customer onboarding workflow. So in this workflow dropdown that you see on the quote sheet, that's where you can select workflows. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select customer onboarding workflow. And then I can also click on this workflow tab here to see what's going to happen. So there's an email. It's going to go out tomorrow at 2:30, a text message tomorrow at 5:30, and then a text message on July 11th at 5:30, and then an email on November 11th at 4:30. Okay, so you can see what's going to happen here. If you click on halt workflow, it will stop. See, they're halted. They're not going to happen. If I click on resume, it would start the workflow back up where it had stopped. So if it stopped after action 2, so let's say that they texted you back after this, you will want to come in here and click resume so that it will start back up at action 3 as scheduled. Okay. All right, so that's assigning workflows. You can click the little X in this box to delete it if you would like. There's a little X right there. Okay, click that little X and it will remove the workflow from that household. You can also assign workflows from the call view pages. So whether they're a lead, hot lead, wherever they're at, you just click the arrow to the left and we have a select workflow box here, and then you can select them from here. You are only going to see the custom workflows and the XDate workflows in this drop-down menu. You will not see an API workflow. You cannot manually assign API workflows, okay? We'll learn about the XDate ones next week. If I click on this gray workflow tab here, same thing. So if I go and I assign a workflow here, it will show me, right? And I can halt the workflow here as well. Okay. All right, so that is the basics of custom workflows. I don't want to make it super complicated because I promise you it is not complicated. You just have a couple different types. When you click create custom workflow, you're just going to go in there and create your actions. What do you want them to say? It's going to be a combination of text and emails, and you have complete control over what they say, when they go out, and who gets alerted for them, and all the above, okay? If a workflow is created for a staff member, is the email still coming from the agent email to the client when it goes out? So when the email is sent, it is currently coming from the org owner's email. So the agency MVP admin, so that would be the agents. But when they reply, it's going to automatically go to that email. Okay. All right. Will this webinar be emailed out for us to circle back to if we need in the future? I have recorded this. I record all of our MVP lives. You guys may realize that I've noticed that we did change our support page a little bit. So we will be hosting our webinars on, actually, if you go to MVP University, so if you click your name on the top right and go to MVP University, this is going to be a little bit more training. So we've got our advanced training. This is MVP Live. You're going to have some of them here. Right now, we only have a few of them for June, but we will be getting all of them back up here, okay? Also, we've got MVP 101, so some basic training up here as well. We'll have some more stuff coming up for features and some integrations, okay? And then if you click your name on the top right and then go to help and support, it takes you to this page. This is a little bit more like where you can search for things that you're looking for and it will tell you things step by step. We are building this out still, so if you have any ideas or any feedback, let me know. Or if you need any documentation or videos, let us know as well, okay? That's where you'll find those and any other resources. Dawn said, why are there no options in the drop-down menu? Once the above actions are complete, switch to the following workflow. I will be talking about that next week. Actually, I will be talking about that the following week. But if you notice down here that you have this drop-down, you are only able to select XDate workflows in this drop-down, okay? You'll learn why and more about that next week and the following weeks, okay? All right, let's talk about some other things about custom workflows. So here are some ideas for your custom workflows. You're going to do ones for new leads. These are ones that are not integrated through the API integration. These would be your similar, so they would be like your internet lead workflows, depending on the type of lead. But these are going to be like, if you're getting leads sent to you or you're working, like your company provides leads to you, internet leads to you, I would create a custom workflow that's pretty similar to an internet lead workflow through API. So create a workflow for all types of leads to replace, to rid any redundant processes. Okay, so if you have referrals and you have a process, you go through with all of them. Create a custom workflow for new referrals. Customer onboarding journey or workflow. Create one for auto cross-sell, home cross-sell, and no cross-sell. Okay, so you're going to create different types of custom workflows. You're going to have a customer onboarding, no cross-sell, customer onboarding, life cross-sell, customer onboarding, auto cross-sell, customer onboarding, home cross-sell. Okay, and you're going to learn why next week, but if we write someone's auto today and we don't write their home, we want to try to get that home in the future, right? So we are going to have it automatically target their home X dates, okay? And we're going to learn about that next week. This is going to allow you to not let these cross-sell opportunities fall through the cracks. So customer onboarding workflows, you should have a welcome email, but please be careful of your carrier's emails. There's a lot of emails that are going to go out on day 1 and 2, right? So make sure you know what they're getting from your company that you're not able to turn off, and don't spam them or repeat the same things, right? You can do a text on did you get your ID cards, a text message to leave a Google review, and then an email for a policy review. You can do one for quotes not closed. I would only use a custom workflow for quotes not closed if I did not have an X date, or if I didn't want to target their X date. I wanted to target something else, okay? We can do cross-sell custom workflows. These would be used for identified opportunities, but you don't have X dates or current policy information, okay? Or you're going to use them for live cross-sell opportunities because we can't target a live cross-sell, right? Some Someone just asked, is there a win-back workflow? I don't have a win-back template. I can possibly work on creating one. I just don't know when I'll be able to get that done, but I would create a custom workflow for win-backs for sure. You can do win-backs. What else would you create a custom workflow, or do you have custom workflows created for? Any ideas? You can do, I mean, there's just so many things that you can do here. It depends on what type of leads you work, how do you follow up on things. But the ones that are most popular are going to be win-backs, cross-sells, customer onboarding, kind of a quote follow-up. Maybe you can apply it to a household once you've quoted it, you've gone over it with them, just haven't closed the sale yet. So that would be somebody that we're still in a process of trying to close. They haven't quite said no to me, okay? You can do cross-sell for specialty for sure. You can do custom workflows for commercial. All right. Someone has asked about the templates in the workflows. Is that what you're talking about, Katie? You're talking about these right here? To choose a saved email template, saved my templates? Okay. So a couple people have asked about these. Since I have time, I'm going to talk about them. So you can, let's say that you have this message here, this email, and you like this email and you're going to use it on some other workflows, but you don't want to clone the entire workflow itself. You just want to save this action. So I'll do save it to my template, and I'm going to say, let's just say review email. Let's name it policy review. Policy review email. So I'll save template script. So when I do that, I can now choose for my saved email templates, and I can say policy review email or internet lead action 1 email. There's lots of different things that we can do. So if I select, now it's filled all that in for me. So that's what these templates are. You can have them for text messages as well too. So you can choose from your saved templates. You can save some for just yourself or for the entire agency that everyone can access. Let's just, that one just said hide first name test. Let's do this one. Okay, so that's what these are. You're going to use these for individual messages. If you don't want to clone the entire workflow, but there's a message that you think you're going to use on other workflows, you can save them to your templates so you don't have to type them again. It's just a way to kind of save you some time. Okay? Perfect. All right, so let's look at, I'm going to show you all this Facebook group so you guys can join. We have a Facebook group called Agency MVP Members Only. There we go. So join this group, request to join if you're not in here yet, and then go to the Files section. And you're going to have some default workflow templates. You got workflow templates. There's a contact strategy in here that you guys will like as well. And then there's quite a few different files here and different workflow templates that you guys can look at and use. Go ahead and look at that. If you have any ideas for other workflow templates that you want to share, feel free to send me over those templates or ideas if you want me to try to help you create some, and we can definitely work on those. But feel free to share what you do. Ask for advice in those groups. Those groups are resources for you. So feel free to ask for ideas or talk about what you've done, and we will be happy to answer, and so are other agents as well. Something that you're going to notice is on all of these workflows, we have action reports. We don't use them in our testing account very often, if at all, so most of them will have zeros. But you can see how many total emails were outgoing from this action, how many of them were opened, and what's your open rate. Okay. Then we've got the action report for text messages, how many of them were outgoing. So we have one that was outgoing, no responses, no other responses, and no stop responses. And then here's just one no response. So no response means that they did not text back at all. Stop response means that they replied with the word stop or stop all. And other response means that they have responded with anything other than the word stop or stop all. Okay, so you will have your action reports. Pay attention to these, delete them, or not delete them, but edit them, change them if they're not good. If you are working internet leads, your action reports, you're probably going to see open rates around 20 to maybe 30% for emails, and probably a response rate for other responses, teens to low 20s. I like to aim for at least the high teens to 20s, like 20%, right? That's for internet leads. I mean, it's not that high, but that's just kind of how internet leads work, okay? So just some thoughts on that. If you change your workflows and then you click update workflow, your action report will reset. All right, here is what's coming up next. Next week on July 15th, we will be here, same time, 2 p.m. Central as usual. We'll be discussing XState workflows. On July 22nd, we'll be talking about some different tips and tricks for workflows, like editing, individual actions, skipping them, how to make workflows work for birthday text messages, things like that. And then we'll also be talking about some texting templates. They're a little bit different than what we talked about today. These are going to be the ones for like one-off text messages, okay? And then on July 29th, the last Thursday of the month, we will be talking about some workflow templates, some verbiage, what works, what doesn't work. I'm hoping to be able to release a few more workflows by then, so I can share them with you during that class. Please make sure that you guys are registering for these classes. And if you are registering, please make sure that you are attending. Seats are limited, okay? So if you're going to register, please make sure you attend. I will post the recordings on our support pages. If you need them sooner than that, please email me. I can get them to you, but we will be posting them on there as soon as possible. Here's our contact information. support@agencymvp.com is their email, or you can call 817-576-8785. Option 1 will take you to our support team. Don't forget to join this Facebook group as well. All right, let me show you how you will register for any webinar. So if you click your name on the top right and you go to help and support, if you click on live training, look for the MVP Live, and you will see the schedule for the month, and then you'll go ahead and click here to register. We have MVP Live, and then we have MVP 101. This is the basic training that's offered every Wednesday. Feel free to reach out to us if you need some one-on-one coaching as well. Our team is here for you. We have a team of success coaches for a reason. That is our job. All that we do all day long is help you learn how to use MVP. We will do more than just your first initial training. If you need some coaching calls, you are welcome to reach out, and our staff will be able to help you out with that. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. That's all that I have for today. I will see you guys all next week to learn about XState workflows. Everyone have a great weekend. Stay safe and healthy, and we'll talk soon.